The road to the White House begins here at the Barley House. Rick Perry is the 47th governor of Texas and one of only a few individuals who I believe has an excellent chance to be the next president of the United States. He's the 10th candidate to join us here at the Barley House. And welcome to the program, Governor Perry.
It's good to be here. Thank you. One of the interesting things, Dean, I saw, Occupy Wall Street's kind of got a lot of attention right now. And this was sent by my son, who actually is not a Wall Streeter, but he's, he works in the financial side of things. And it was a quote, and I don't know whether it can be proved up or not. The young man's name was Jeremy, and he was 38 years old. But he said, we got here at 9 o'clock, and those people, and this was in Toronto, I think Bay Street is their comparable. He said those bankers that we came to insult, they'd already been at work for 2 hours when we got here at 9 o'clock. And when we get ready to leave, they're still in there working. He said, I guess greed just makes you work hard. and my point is that my tax plan that I laid out, and some people would criticize and said, well, you're letting the rich get richer. And I said, listen, everybody in my tax plan gets a tax cut. But the fact is, I'm not interested in class warfare. I'm for creating jobs. And if we allow people to have more of what they work hard for, and they have confidence that they can reinvest that and create jobs and in turn create wealth, that's what we ought to be about. Quit playing this class warfare thing, and let's get back to being America again. There are people who started with nothing, who now have great opportunity, and so that circles kind of back to your question. Is here's a kid,
I was hoping we would do that.
Here's a kid who grew up on a dryland cotton farm, 60 plus years ago, who's running for the presidency of the United States. If we will get government out of our way, if we will let government do a few things and do them well, like stand our military, secure our border, but leave the states, I'll promise you, when you're governor, you'll be able to come up with ideas to deliver health care better, to educate the kids of New Hampshire better, to come up with transportation issues, environmental issues. I know for a fact you and your colleagues and the citizens of the state care more about the health and safety and well-being of your citizens than some bureaucrat in Washington, D.C. with a one-size-fits-all mentality.
I want to talk to you a little about your optional flat tax proposal. I've talked with local economists and financial planners, and they've said, why not just a straight-out flat tax opposed to an optional? They feel that the optional aspect of it will actually expand the impact of the IRS as well as the financial industry. So take us through the rationale between why it was optional as opposed to straight.
I don't know how you can expand the IRS's impact on people's lives any more than it is right now. But the reason we let it be an option is that there may be businesses out there that have put in place a business plan with the different options, the different carve-outs and what have you, that is right for their business. So it makes sense. Look, you can do it one of two ways. You can have this postcard size right there.
It works great as a direct mailer too for the campaign.
Yeah,
so send those out, folks.
20%, $12,500 deduction for every one of your dependents. Take off mortgage, take off charitable, take off your local taxes, and send it in. And let people have the choice. If you want to pay those lawyers and you want to pay the accountants and go through that, that's fine. That's your business. My instinct is there'll be a substantial number of Americans that pick that approach. And at that particular point in time, you're going to have a lot of IRS agents that don't have anything to do. And at that point in time, you can let them go. They can find something else to do in the private sector.
How do you convince New Hampshire voters that there's a commonality between what you've done in Texas and what they might want you to do here in New England?
Yeah. Well, the real issue from my perspective is, listen, your position on social issues is going to be your position. I've got mine. I'm going to be very strong in standing up for them, whatever that may be. But I'm no expert when it comes to the religion that you're going to choose or what have you. But what I am an expert on is job creation. And let me tell you, the people of New Hampshire when they sit down in the evening, I do think they want a president who is consistent. They do want a president who is an individual who has a set of moral values and they live it every day. But they also want someone who has a record and a consistent record, not being on this side of an issue in this election, this side of that issue in another election. Consistency, I think, is very important. You may not agree with me on everything, but you don't have to wake up in the morning and wonder, is Rick Perry going to be the same guy in 2 years that he was 2 years ago? And the answer to that is, yep, he will be. And jobs and job creation has been the hallmark of what I've been doing as the governor of the state of Texas. It will be what I'm focused on, because you can't have good foreign policy if you don't first have good economic policy.